go. Sunday night, Dan Grider, probable cause. On the road, glad to have you with us for the live chat Sunday night. I'm both here in Roselawn, Indiana, and back in Atlanta at the same time. This video is going to cover a whole bunch of stuff, but I happen to be in Roselawn. This covers some information about the Roselawn crash from October 31, 1994. This is an ATR72, and this is the crash that killed 68 people. This is the memorial for it. If you remember, the crew was extremely experienced. The captain had more than 8,000 hours. The first officer had 5,000 hours. Lots of extenuating circumstances on this flight, but they were in holding. They encountered severe icing in the hold. I'm going to show you the rest of this memorial here, but the memorial has since been built. Some interesting information about this particular accident. It's always been my beef with NTSB and cleanup. This airplane crash did not get properly cleaned up. After the investigation was over, family members still came out here and found relatives' body parts still laying out here after the crash, and that caused a whole big thing. They finally got all that taken care of. Crash site cleanup and securing after an incident like that has always been very poor. I'm going to read to you what it says here on this thing. This is the plaque that's left. It's the legacy of Flight 4184. The Flight 4184 accident resulted in many humanitarian and technical changes benefiting air travelers and their families. Research initiated during the Flight 4184 investigation led to a better understanding of icing hazards. Airlines revised pilot training and procedures, and manufacturers enhanced aircraft anti-icing systems. All of these changes improved aviation safety. The families of those aboard joined with other advocates seeking better treatment of those left behind following such tragedies. Their efforts helped build a strong consensus for change, which led to the passage of the Aviation Disaster Family Assistance Act of 1996. The act requires air carriers to have plans detailing how they will accomplish critical tasks like training, support personnel, notifying family members following an accident, and returning the personal belongings of those aboard. It also designates the NTSB as the federal agency responsible for coordinating post-accident support. It says the NTSB fulfills this role. I'm not so sure that they do. They're not timely. They're not talking to the families. There's no communication. After the fact, the NTSB is gone, and they don't care. This is the crash that started the act that's supposed to take better care of families, both the airlines and the government, reaching out to these people to let them know it's already a tragic situation and we're not getting them back, but the handling of the loved ones left behind was horrible in those days. It has improved a little bit, but not much. I'm going to show you the graphics of where we are relative to this road. This is my third visit to this site in Roselawn, Indiana. The actual crash impact is right behind us. I'll show it to you on the map right now. This thing came out of the air in a dive. It hit the ground at about 375 knots. This thing hit hard, and before it hit the ground, pieces were already coming off the airplane. This thing did not arrive at the crash impact altogether. They pulled this thing apart in flight. Lots and lots of mistakes were made on this. Our deepest respects and condolences still to this day to these family and friends of those lost here, still displayed on this wall. I guarantee you it still hurts these people today, even this long after the fact. This is still a painful accident. I hope we can take accidents like this and learn and do a much better job on prevention of these type of accidents. Prevention, yes, prevention. That little video clip from about a year ago up at Roselawn, the ATR72 crash. I've been to a lot of crash sites. That one was up there at Roselawn. It was brought up, and I pulled that out of the archives to show it because of the ATR crash in Brazil, South America. I believe 62 or 63 people on that crash down there. Very, very unusual crash. I had a lot of people call and send me texts and things like that, want me to talk about it. I know very little about it. I saw the same video that you did, so I'm not going to play the video, but it did look like a speed problem. It somehow got stalled and it somehow spun. Was there anything else going on extraneous to that? I don't know, and there's no way that I can speculate on that. I saw the same flight aware data that you did. It was up at 17,000 feet. Was there ice up there? I don't know. Did icing cause it? Could be any one of a number of things. I guess we'll just have to wait and see if the Brazilians are any better at figuring this stuff out than us. But in any case, a horrific loss of life. I cannot imagine being on board that aircraft during the free fall from that altitude. It would have taken a good minute to get to the ground, and you're going to know all the way down that this is the end. Very, very bad way to go. Prevention. This is how come speed awareness is so important in our general aviation world, and this is how come I'm going to talk about this when we get up here towards the end of this video to talk about the Oshkosh arrival, the AirVenture arrival, and ATC procedures up there at AirVenture, and why we have so many crashes and so many fatals every year, year after year, accidents and fatals. It has to do with what we're being required to do to get into AirVenture, to fly your airplane in there, and I think the whole thing is wrong. I've had so many people reach out to me and provide me videos and information and all that kind of thing. I think it's ironic and interesting. Most of the time, each person says, please don't use my name, but here's the deal. And I'll honor that. I'll keep your name out of it, but this is free speech. This is America. When things are wrong and need to be corrected and need to be improved, we each need to be able to be free to talk about it and fix these things. I've taken an extraordinary amount of effort at the end of this video to show you some examples, two very clear examples of the dozens and dozens that I found from AirVenture this year. And yes, I did pick through all the ATC tapes and listen to all of that from up there. If you're not familiar with AirVenture, it's the largest fly-in airplane convention per year. More people attend and more airplanes fly in. I am not an anti-fly-in person. I love fly-ins and I like going to these things myself. This particular one happens to be too big and they're still running the air traffic control. FAA is still running it in an archaic way where they're controlling the airplanes with their voice and yelling at pilots, making them do wrong things, unsafe things, dangerous things, non-stabilized approaches, barking at them to fly these sweeping hook turn unstabilized approaches. I think it's wrong. I think we ought to stand up to this and say we can't fly into AirVenture until the procedures get changed. And really, there is no reason to be doing what we're doing up there at AirVenture. At the very end of this video, I've got a little diagram. I'll show you what my proposal is for getting airplanes safely in and out. AirVenture Oshkosh ought to operate year after year after year without a single fatal caused by lack of speed. Their stall spin in the traffic pattern, their lack of speed awareness accidents, loss of control in the traffic pattern accidents have been way, way, way too many. And I think I know the reason for it. I want your opinion. I want you to watch what I put together, and keep in mind, I took a tremendous amount of time to build these tapes at the very, very end and show it to you so you could see. I'm going to put you in the cockpit of an airplane so you can see exactly what's going on, and we're going to do that. Now, back to the ATR72. I don't know, but I got a few people from the internet that made their opinions. I thought it was kind of funny. I'm just going to play those back to back. Here's their various opinions on what caused, or what their opinion is, of the ATR72 crash down in Brazil.
Usually this sort of thing occurs because the flight crew was not able to maintain, or did not maintain, enough airspeed. Clearly it was a stall spin. How they got into it is what we don't know.
When we talk about that type of spin, how we get into those spins is unknown at this point.
It was a stall. I think we can pretty much safely assume that.
So in this case, what do I conjecture that happened? I think that this plane probably encountered ice. I think there may have been some other failure mode, an engine failure, a propeller control system failure, which halted its forward movement and started this plane on this rapid descent.
We have one more clue, and this is hugely important. Some of the radar tracings indicate that the aircraft had been flying throughout most of its flight at over 200 knots, 202 knots. And at this particular point, and remember, just a minute after this happened, it took a minute for all this to happen, to fall and to crash, it was going only 40 knots.
What happened today, from what looking at some information I looked at today, I did.
How we get into those spins is unknown at this point.
Just to get caught up a little bit, I am 100% recovering from the little airplane incident that I had. And I very much appreciate everyone's support and everything that you did for all three of us in that Lockheed Electra plane crash. That was June 17th. I am feeling so much better. My leg is zero pain. I'm not on any drugs. I have to stay off of it for quite a while longer because of the extent of the surgery that they did on it. So I'm okay on wheelchair and crutches. It's limited my mobility quite a lot, but I'm completely pain-free, completely drug-free. I've got most of my mobility and range of motion back again. Somebody sent me this in the mail. This is not a plug or a shout out or a sponsorship, but somebody sent me this stuff, and this is amazing. You know, I took a lick to the forehead in the Electra when we impacted, and it did this to my forehead right here. This scar on my forehead was huge and swelled and was looking like it was going to need plastic surgery until this guy sent me this. This is some oil-based vitamin E magic miracle stuff that you can't buy in the store, and I'm not sure who the guy is or how he manufactures this, but in the last 7 days you can see this thing has gone almost to zero, and I'm continuing to put it on twice a day and keep it really lubricated and oiled. It had an amazing effect on reducing the swelling. Everything else is kind of getting back to normal. I got to put my watch back together that got broken, and my David Clarks that got smashed in the airplane. I've got a spare set of those ready to go, but I'm going to see if I can send these David Clarks off. It's the same standard David Clark headsets I've had for many, many years. The other two guys are going to be fine. Glenn is good and getting better. Jason is still back in the hospital again, a return visit for more surgeries on his leg. But all three of us eventually will live to fight again. And I very much appreciate your support for all three of us and your concern. That was a very unusual plane crash. I'll give you all the better details on everything that we found out since the accident at a later time. I'm going to get on to what we got to do here tonight. Welcome. It's Sunday night, and I'm glad to have you with us here. If you're in the live chat with us, thanks for joining in. It's turned into a little group party every Sunday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. And make sure you jump in there and say hi. We'll try to answer as many of those as we can, as quickly as we can. The Sunday evening probable cause live thing has turned into a real good deal. We have room for celebration. We are in August 11th. So far this year, we've consumed 224 days of the year. I'm going to put August data on the screen here for you. These are the 4 accidents that we've had in August so far. And if you notice, in August, we've had 86 fatals in the first 224 days, compared to in 2023, we had 112. That's 26 fatals less. 26 fatals less than 1 year ago at the exact same time. Our fatal accident per month rate is 11.709 right now, which is prorated right down to the day because of our 224 days consumed so far, and the fact that 2024 has 366 days in it. You do the math and figure all that stuff out. It's 11.79. Where does that number come from? Landon Cohen, my DTSB data analyst down in Florida, built this for me. I'll put this up on the screen here. Check this out. This is a graphical, updated daily, real-time graph that keeps track of this. This is general aviation's fatals per month, broken down by category. And notice in 2023, we closed 2023 with 14.58. Here's where we're at right now. Average fatals per month is 11.709. Our average pilot age for the fatals was 55.8, and so far we've lost 75 people. But look at this bar graph up there at the top. The light blue color is 2024 and the dark blue color is 2023. In each case, 2024, we've been a little bit less, with the exception of July, where we had 19 in both 2023 and 2024. So far, we've only got 4 in August, where we had 20 in August of 2023. Are we doing better? I think that we are. I think AQP and some of these other things, getting more accident information real time out there to you. I've got a couple policies that I'm going to keep on hammering on. Avoid night flying if you can. carry enough fuel. 30-minute day VFR reserve is not enough. Our number of airplanes that we've had crashing because they ran out of gas is out. It's just amazing. Fly DMMS. Know what DMMS is for your airplane. Each airplane has a min maneuvering speed, and that's how come the whole Oshkosh thing telling everybody to fly 90 knots. Well, what's 90 knots? 90 might work on a 172, but it's not going to work on a Navajo. It's not going to work on an 836. 90 is too slow to maneuver at 30 degrees bank, holding a level attitude, especially if you start to go anything uncoordinated. 90 will not work. There is a specific number for your airplane where you can be assured that a coordinated level turn at 30 degrees bank, if you're at DMMS, you're totally safe. Know what that is for your airplane. If they tell you to fly 90 and it's below, if 90 is below your DMMS, don't bust DMMS. Fly a stabilized approach. Be ready for loss of thrust on takeoff. Be ready for reduction of thrust on takeoff. These are all AQP scenarios. They're not in your FAA training material. These are AQP scenarios because I guarantee you one of these is going to happen to you. Now, let's take a quick look at the month of July. I'll put that up on the screen here for you. Here's July 2024. We had to go back and add one, if you notice. Accident number 9, 2:30 p.m., November 788 Kilo Fox is a Kit Fox in Pennsylvania. This guy lost control on takeoff, and all we know is that after the fact, his passenger, who was 80 years old, he died just a few days ago. So that added this accident, where it would have been a non-fatal, ended up, I saw the pictures of the plane. It really, I'm surprised that anybody got hurt, but if you consider the age of the person who was the passenger was a little bit frail, a little bit elderly, and I'm very sorry to report that he died after the fact. The pilot is just fine and no serious injuries at all, but that added that to the month of July. The rest of those on July we've already talked about pretty much extensively in previous videos. Month of August, I'll put that on the screen here. November 140 Delta Golf. As of last week, I did not know the answer to this, but this is up in Michigan. This is that kind of like a jet jump takeoff gyrocopter thing. Carol DeGraw, she was the wife of Dick DeGraw. She was 83 years old. I still don't know what happened on that accident. And then 8095 uniform. This is a heartbreaker. Oklahoma City just a few days ago. This is a Bonanza that took off to the south at Sundance Airport. I found the one guy who watched this airplane take off. He was at a distance, but he watched it take off, and he said that it sounded normal. It took off to the south, but it leaped up off the ground. He said he was surprised how early the nose gear came up, and when it did, the airplane was flying to the left. FAA and the news reports out there says that it was caused by hitting a hay bale. I don't think hitting the hay bale caused the accident. I think in the process of turning to the left, here's a screen graphic that I built showing the path of the airplane, and this yellow thing in here, that is where the hay bale was that they hit. It flew left wing down in ground effect all the way to the trees, and it exploded on an impact. 4 people, 2 adults and 2 children on this airplane died. Daniel Swinehart, age 37, was the pilot. Here's his obituary. Obviously, a horrific situation for everybody involved. Here's what I think happened. I've flown these Bonanzas a lot. The elevator trim is very, very powerful. If he attempted a takeoff with his elevator trim fully nose up, that nose is going to come up, and it's a tremendous amount of force to push on that yoke to make the nose not fly. As soon as it gets up to about 60, that nose is going to come up. The wing is going to try to fly, even clean wing, 0 flaps, the wing is going to try to fly. It's in ground effect, and as soon as you're up off the ground, that airplane is going to torque to the left, and it did. It flew in ground effect. He was trying to straighten this thing out all the way to impact. I think this is a before takeoff maintenance, not necessarily maintenance, but pre-flight, before takeoff checklist. Make sure that your elevator trim is set correctly. Our deepest respects and condolences to this entire family in Oklahoma City and the loss of those 2 children. It left the mom in this family. She wasn't on the airplane, and you can imagine what's going on in that family. A horrific situation. You can avoid this. Be more careful. Do a better pre-flight. Notice your elevator trim during pre-flight, and do a before takeoff checklist. Make sure that all this stuff is good. There is no reason this Bonanza should have lifted off early and swung to the left and flew into the trees. None. But as soon as that nose gear was up and off the ground, it lost directional control. It was the nose gear tracking the center line that gave it the directional control in the first place. As soon as the nose gear comes up, you're a two-wheel airplane and you're going to the direction of the torque that's going to pull you to the left. And I believe that's all that happened. Let's take the next one. Take a look at the next one. This is August of 2024, November 7905 uniform. It's a 172 in Texas. We still know very little about that. And then November 2764Q, that's a 182 out in Montana. Flew into the terrain at about 12:38 p.m. Day VFR, 3 people on board, a pilot and 2 other people. Flew into the terrain, scattered that wreckage all over the place. I don't know why you'd be flying that low over the terrain and into the terrain. Did they encounter a downdraft? Did they encounter a microburst or anything like that? Don't know. There's no way to know. All I can tell you is I looked at the radar data and I plotted it on Google Earth. They were flying pretty low over the terrain. That 182 could have been up at 12,000 feet, no problem. They were hugging the tops of that terrain as they made their way towards their destination. For whatever reason, they ended up down in something and it flew right into something. Got no idea why, but that's how we ended up with August, where it did. So far, just the 4 as of this recording on Sunday afternoon, August 11, 2024. I'll put this graphic back up on the screen here. We are doing okay. We're actually doing really, really good. I know each one of these is a very, very bad deal for everybody, but we are doing a little bit better on an annual basis. And remember that general aviation fatal accident rate is going to help us all. It's going to help on insurance. It's going to help on rates. It's going to help on absolutely everything else. Let's go on to the next topic here that I got going on here, which is going to be AirVenture and the ATC FAA arrival. Before I do that, I want to say thank you again for all your support. If you'd like to support me and my efforts, what you're about to see here took a tremendous amount of time to build, and I'm going to talk you through it, intersperse my voice and my voiceover on top of this thing. This is just me. I'm one guy with a camera and a little video editor. It's all I got. If you'd like to support me with $1 or $2 towards my efforts, this video that you're about to see took a tremendous amount of time to get, but it's the truth. I want you to know the truth about flying into AirVenture. Me personally, I'm not flying in there. My recommendation is do not fly into AirVenture until they fix this. Do not. You are putting yourself in grave danger attempting to fly into AirVenture until a bunch of corrections are made. Remember, the DTSB is a legal 501c3 organization. If you want to make a tax-deductible donation gift, you can do that by sending a check to this address or via our DTSB Super Fund. If you got $1 or $2 and you don't care about the tax donation, you want to help me personally cover some expenses and travel and shooting and collecting video, all that would be greatly appreciated. You can do it via one of these 4 methods here. They're perfectly safe, and I keep 100% of whatever dollar you donate towards me. Zelle, PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. Again, I very much appreciate all the support. A lot of you have given $1 and $2. A few of you knuckleheads have given $5 and $6. That's over and above, and I don't deserve it. I appreciate that, but that's all very, very nice of you, and it helps buy tacos and shoes. I got to get a pair of tennis shoes. In the next 4 weeks, I'm going to be able to walk. I got to go out and buy a pair of tennis shoes here pretty soon because I'm down to 1 shoe, and that one is still pretty bloody. That's all I got left here on shoes, but I'm going to get a pair of tennis shoes and get back on the road. Let's take a look at this AirVenture thing. I'm going to play it for you in real time. You're not going to believe this, and I'm going to leave the offending airplane identity until the very end. You're not going to believe who this guy is, this knucklehead. I'm going to talk you through and show you what he did, but this is not uncommon. I found 50 of these type operations in the ATC tapes and flight aware data. I mean, they are rampant, this entire thing. No wonder there's so many near mid-airs up there, and it is such chaos. It's a beehive up here. But I want you to watch this particular one, especially when you figure out at the very, very end of this who the offending guy was. All right, so let's put this video on the screen here. I'm going to let this play in real time here. This is what it looks like for airplanes. You can see them lined up like little ants. This is a real-time flight-aware screen, and this is Oshkosh. Those 3 red circles are the reporting points or the checkpoints on your arrival. It's the VFR arrival going into AirVenture. So the first one is called Green Lake. It's a starting point. If you're going to fly into, you have to at least enter over Green Lake. Some of these other airplanes you see have entered at the starting point prior, but everybody's in line and everybody is courteous. Nobody's cutting in line. Everybody gets in their line and does their deal here. Now, enter our hero here. He's coming in his Bonanza. Here he is. Here's his flight aware track. He comes up from Milwaukee. It's November 290 Sierra. He skips the starting point, goes to Ripon. Look at his speed, 160, 170. He is going fast and not following the rules. When he gets to Fisk, he gets turned around because they could not communicate with him. They made 4 attempts to talk to him, and they turned him away. Now looky here, he's going to duck in. He's thinking about going to Ripon. Nope, not going to do it. He's going to turn around and try it again. Now he puts his gear down, overshoots this. He flew head on against all those people. Now he's going slower down at 1800. He crosses Ripon, and he gets up here to this Fisk, and eventually he crosses Fisk. This time, they got radio contact with him. So let's talk about the first one here. On his way in, here's ATC.
And, who's my fast guy that's just south of the railroad tracks? Low wing, rock your wing.
They're calling him.
Low wing without the flashers on, just south of the railroad tracks, rock your wing.
They're calling him.
The retractable gear, low wing, rock your wing.
That's the third time.
All right, I got a low wing that's 1 mile east of Fisk right now that's turning to the southeast. I need you to break out and re-enter. Go all the way to the south, break out and re-enter the arrival. Have traffic ahead of you into and right. Bonanza 290 Sierra, break out, go southbound, and then re-enter from the arrival.
290 Sierra, southbound, thanks.
So that's 290 Sierra. They couldn't call him on the radio. He wouldn't answer. He was on the wrong frequency. They broke him out. They sent him around. Now look at this. He has brought it around here. He's thinking about rejoining at Ripon. See him turning right there? He's thinking about cutting in line again. Then he thinks, no, better not. There's not a space. I'll turn back to the left here and go back out. Should he go all the way down to that red circle? No, he's not going to do it. Right now, he's going to turn directly into the face of oncoming traffic. Now he's down here at 1,000 AGL, head on with all these other people. And look where he cuts in line. He cuts in line a second time, head on with all these other airplanes. And he's going to turn in right here and bring this thing back around. He's in his Bonanza. And now he's going to end up going all the way back up to Ripon at 90 knots. Who is this guy? You're going to be amazed when I tell you who he is, because this is 290 Sierra. They identified him by name and by N number. That is him. All right, I'll scoot it a little bit further forward here. Here he is. He's coming up on Fisk, and now he's going to get a ring walk. Here's a wing rock. Here's ATC talking to him.
Low wing, nose wide, half mile south, rock your wing. That's a good rock. You're going to runway 36, start a right turn, pick up the east-west road, and 1,800 feet now if you're not already there. Keep the microwave antenna off your right side. Start that right turn for me now.
Yes, sir. Any chance to get 27?
Yeah, I can make that happen. Keep following the railroad tracks northbound.
Outstanding. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, that's 290 Sierra. He was given 3.6, but he asked for 2.7. Now, the deal is you don't talk on the radio. When you get up here and on the downwind, you're not supposed to talk. Look what he does. He gets on the downwind. Here he comes.
And you got a Bonanza, turn it downwind. Bonanza over the gravel pit, starts your descent. Turn your base to be in the numbers. On the green dot, runway 27, clear to land. On the green dot.
So he's on the downwind, and I'm going to show you the expanded view of this. The downwind, this is the right downwind for 27 at AirVenture. Here he is. Here's what he did. That was him calling for permission. Let's take a look at the actual NOTAM. Here it is. Here's the flight path that he is supposed to have flown. If you can see the arrows there. And notice the gravel pit on here. Everybody has got to stay south of the gravel pit, 90 knots, 1,000 AGL, and start your descent once you get to the gravel pit. What does our hero do? Well, I'm going to superimpose his flight aware traffic with the NOTAM, and here he comes. This is our guy in green, 290 Sierra. He's going to fly north of the gravel pit. He's not going to descend, and he's at the wrong speed. He's going to bring it around, all the way around, and bring this thing for landing. He's just going to do what he wants to do. He was discourteous. He cut in line. He was at the wrong speed. He was on the wrong frequency. Who is this guy?
My name is Mike Ginter, and I'm the Senior Vice President of AOPA's Air Safety Institute.
Like, are you kidding me, Mike? No. Problem is, that was only one of 50 unbelievable things that I saw in the ATC tapes and flight aware stuff. People going wrong way. No brashers. I saw 18 wrong way without a clearance landing opposite direction, attempting to land opposite direction at AirVenture. Not a single brasher. Every one of them said, okay, it's going to be fine. Bring it back around and land. I'm going to give you the next one here. This is a cockpit video. I'm going to show you what it looks like here, taken from the cockpit of an airplane that flew in. This is a tape that somebody sent me from their own personal dash GoPro, and I interspersed the ATC tape with it. Now, the interesting thing is there's 3 airplanes in question here. I'm going to show them to you. This is the airplane. This is a Seneca being flown on the way in, and they flew in over Fisk, and they got assigned 36. I'm sorry, they got assigned 18 right. That's fine. They're going to fly east and enter a left downwind for 18 right. So here comes the cockpit video footage, and I'm going to show this to you here on the screen, what it looks like. There's 3 airplanes. There's this airplane. There's the other airplane that's flying opposite direction, wrong way, head on.
Conventional aircraft, we just opened up arrivals to 18 right, so we're feeding both runway 27 and 18 right. We'll assign you the runway once you get to Fisk.
So this is my Seneca guy. He's not quite at Fisk yet. He's doing everything right. He's at the right altitude.
If you're assigned run 8 right, reaching Fisk, turn right, heading 090 due east, follow Fisk Avenue, enter a left downwind to runway 27 right. Maintain 1000, correction, 18 right, runway 18 right.
Okay, he's at 1,000 feet.
Went over Fisk, turn right, heading 090, follow that east-west road, maintain 1,800 until you reach the downwind there. You can't descend until the downwind for departures off of 18 right.
That's not him. Here he comes.
And the twin that just turned, monitor tower on 126.6.
Okay, now they're going to give him a turn to the right to point east.
All right, my high twin over Fisk, east turn right heading 090, follow the east-west road to be going to 18 right. Cessna over Fisk, rock your wings. Great rock, Cessna, great rock. Continue up the railroad tracks, maintain 1,800 until the downwind, and you'll turn downwind just inside the gravel pit for runway 27, monitor tower on 118.5. My twin over Fisk, turn right to follow that east-west road for me, turn right and maintain 1,800 feet until the downwind, monitor tower on 126.6. Welcome to the show.
All right, so now he's facing east. He's got to fly out to the east of the airport, turn left, and enter the downwind. I'm going to put the altitudes on the screen. This is my whole problem with AirVenture and FAA ATC. They're making airplanes fly way too low. It's not just this guy, it's every airplane. Too low on the downwind. They're yelling at them to turn, tighten it up, making them turn, making them do things they're not wanting to do. I'll put a red box in here. I'm about to show you the offending airplane. If you look just below the lake here, I'm going to put a red box and show it to you here. Here's the airplane going the wrong way. This guy that was a twin just ahead of him turned left and lined up on 36 left. He's facing opposite head-on direction of landing airplanes and airplanes that are taking off on 36 right. He's flying north when everybody else is using a south operation. What's going to happen to him? Is he going to get in any trouble? Is he going to get a phone number to call? Check it out. There he is. There's the red box right there.
All aircraft inbound from Fisk, left downwind for runway 18. Follow the east-west road, continue to maintain 1,800 for departures at 1,300, and are close in left downwind over the first main road, past the airport. Start your descent. You must be established on the base leg of being the blue dot or control tower. Expect to land on the yellow dot. Do not continue past the control tower.
I'm sorry, that twin has not appeared yet. He's about to. I'm about to put a red box in here. I'll put it in here in a second so you can see the offending twin going north, trying to land north when everybody else is landing south and taking off south. Here he comes. He's coming in, and you can see this airplane right about now. Take a look. It's real hard to see, but I've got the box drawn there so you can see it. Now they're gonna start yelling at him.
Aircraft coming inbound from runway 36, disregard. I'll go back, go to the downwind. Turn right, low wing, I need you to go.
Hey, the one that's just over the threshold there, can you hear me? My twin on final, go around, twin on final, go around, twin on final, can you hear me? Going around. Okay, very good, no problem. I want you to continue on the upwind for just a second, stay on the upwind.
They're telling him no problem. He just flew head on without a clearance the wrong way, and they said no problem.
All right, twin, start a right turn there for me, start a right turn.
Now they're talking to the erroneous twin that flew the wrong way. They want him to turn right.
Twin, go to the shoreline and come back inbound for a left downwind, runway 18 right.
They're sending him to the shoreline. They're going to bring him right back around.
Twin, keep turning to the downwind, please. Keep that turn to the downwind. High wing over, just coming up on the left downwind, begin your descent.
Now our guy in the Seneca that you're looking at out the nose.
Twin Cessna, just inside the shoreline, look out for traffic off your right on the left downwind. You're going to be following him.
He's 800 AGL. He's on the downwind.
Twin, you got that traffic to follow in sight?
I'm looking.
He's 800 AGL and descending. He's 600 AGL. I'm sorry, he's 700.
Twin on the midfield left downwind at or after the pink dot, clear to land, runway 18 right. Twin going southbound, keep that right turn, join the downwind.
He's still talking to the wrong way airplane.
I need the first twin beam the blue dot, turn in the base.
Now our guy's at 500 AGL, and they want him to flatten out. Look at this.
Hey, Twin, just square that turn to final. Don't cut it off. I got a departure rolling on the runway. We're going to put it in. There you go. I see you leveling perfect. Give me just a little room for that tri-pacer, and then you can square that turn to final. Clear to land wherever you're comfortable putting it down.
He's at 300 AGL. He's going to bank 20 to 25 degrees.
Second twin, as soon as you level the wing, start the left turn, and you start the descent. Got to keep you beam the tower, pointing right towards the tower. My second twin, left turn now, left turn now, left turn now. You can't get into 27. Second twin that I sent around, left turn now. The second twin, left turn now, left turn, left turn. There you go.
Twin Cessna, turn in left base, pink dot, clear to land.
Twin Cessna, tighten that turn. You're going to get into 27. My Twin Cessna, I need you in the turn now. Continue around. There you go. I see you turning tight. That's what I need. Tighten it up. Tighten it up. Perfect. Great job.
Twin at departure and turn right, next hard surface or into the grass, and follow the flagman. Welcome to Oshkosh.
Look at this. Look at how many times they told him to turn, tighten it up, tighten it up. The offending wrong way airplane. They brought him back around, had to yell at him the entire time to get him down. This downwind at 500 feet, this is the AirVenture hook turn. 90 knots, hook turn, bring it around. You're going to overshoot. You're going to stall your airplane. Did any airplane stall? Yes, they did. We had lots of extremely close calls. I'm going to put one on the screen here. Here's one that actually crashed. This was 4 airplanes.
Twin turn base now.
This is 4 airplanes behind our guy.
Twin diamond, turn base, twin diamond. Diamond star, nice job, nice job. You're still clear to land. Your discretion, runway 18 right. Twin diamond, one turn to final, please. One turn to final.
One turn to final.
Yak, begin your left base. Yak, begin the left base. Yak, runway 18 right. Pink dot, clear to land. Keep the turn going.
Keep the turn going. Keep the turn going. There's
Twin
the crash.
At or after the yellow dot, clear to land.
Yak, put it down as soon as you can.
Now here comes the go around.
Yak, go around. Yak, go around. Yak, go around. Yak, go around. Yak, go around.
Yes, AirVenture is not happy with me. I'm trying to save your life out there. I'm trying to tell you where there is danger. Don't go do this. Drive your car in. There's lots of airports around the area. If you want to go to the air show, I recommend you go to AirVenture and stop in a day or two and take a look. They've got a lot of cool stuff. Very nice. You think about flying your airplane in? Not until they make some drastic improvements. They've got ADS-B, they've got call signs, they can talk to airplanes, they can space them out. ATC assigning speed, altitude, and bank angle is absurd. I'm going to put this graphic up on the screen here. This is the runway 27. 27 is 150 feet wide. All they would have to do is bring people in any speed that you want on the downwind. You start your descent whenever you want to. You fly a normal downwind base and final. You follow FAA stabilized approach criteria. You land in the touchdown zone. Either land favoring left or favoring right. Any airplane can land on a 50-foot wide strip. This NTZ, that's a no transgression zone. In the middle, a little bit of buffer. Remember, runway 18 left or 36 right at Oshkosh is a taxiway. It's only 50 feet wide in the first place, and they're using it as a runway. You could land any one of these runways favoring the left or the right side. As soon as you touch down and your speed is reasonable, exit into the grass and you're totally fine. You use the entire runway. When you're cleared to land, the runway is yours. If somebody behind you is too fast, that's their problem and they have to go around. ATC, all you can do is tell airplanes to turn base now or extend your downwind. You cannot tell them to tighten it up, tighten it up. You can't tell them to fly the downwind to 500 feet. You can't tell them what speed to fly their airplane, and you cannot tell them when to lower their landing gear. That's what's causing the problem. ATC, you're not pilots. You're not flying that airplane. You don't need to raise your voice and yell at these people. You need to give them a safe, standardized approach and set them up for success, and everything will be just fine. AirVenture should run year after year with zero loss of control fatals. The fatal that happened this year with the Lancer up there, I went to the site. I'm going to show that to you on the screen here right now. I could not figure out where this crash happened, and NTSB, there's no documentation to show you. This airplane was just on the east side of final for 36 left. This Lancer did the exact same thing, was told to tighten it up, and he did. He had opposing jet traffic on right base facing them, and he turned tight to not overshoot 36 left. At 90 knots, the Lancer at a 30-degree bank, when you're pulling, he stalled and he spun. His wreckage hit just a little bit to the east side of the extended center line of 36 left. They don't want to tell you where that wreckage is or where it hit, but it's just on the east side of the extended center line, and that's why. That's what he was doing. Obviously, not a good situation. And the guy in the left seat that owned that airplane, he was an air traffic controller. The guy that was in the right seat that also died was an airline FO. They both knew what they were doing, but they listened to ATC that told them what to do, and they had opposing traffic. The entire thing, this is not setting our pilots up for success. I propose that you do not fly into AirVenture unless AirVenture wants to sit down with FAA and devise better, improved techniques. I want to know what your opinion is, but the entire thing is a beehive. Would you take your airplane and fly into a skydiving center where they're dropping skydivers out of the airplanes at 50 per hour? Would you fly directly into the middle of that airport? No, I would go around it. Don't go into the middle of that airport. Don't go into the middle of AirVenture until they get this straightened out. Can they straighten it out? Absolutely, they can if they will. What do I predict is going to happen? Absolutely nothing. They're going to live with the effects, and they're simply going to say pilot error. I say BS. That is not pilot error. That's FAA setting you up for failure and yelling at you. The FAA control tower at Oshkosh has a continuous line going in the door at the bottom, going up to the tower cab to give tours. These controllers think that they're heroes and want to wear a pink shirt and be somebody and give all these tours in the cab. The cab is a secure, sterile place. You go up there and you do your job. Your job is to keep pilots safe, keep them separated, and do your job. Close the door. No tours to ATC. There's no reason for that at AirVenture. You want to get a tower cab tour, do it one-on-one at your own airport, some other place. Not AirVenture. We're killing people every year. The entire thing is wrong. The helicopter crash from last year, yes, it is a big deal. I truly believe in my heart that AirVenture, EAA, has a hand in the negligence of this, in the setup, the fun fly zone, a Class D within a Class D. I totally think that this was not proper. It wasn't proper to allow it. They didn't have management. They didn't have an air boss. They did not have ATC. They did not have a pink shirt down there at the helicopter area. This guy had already been told multiple times, but there's nothing you can do about it. He just flew anyway. I mean, what are you going to do? You got some lady with a clipboard. He's not worried about that. There's no brashers. Out of all the ATC tapes I listened to for AirVenture, which is tons and tons, zero brashers. I want to say thanks to Live ATC, who helped me out and hooked me up with a whole bunch of extra stuff, filled in some gaps for me here this week. LiveATC.net. We use them all the time. A great service and great quality audio tapes from all that kind of stuff. LiveATC.net. Support them when you can. A fantastic, secure digital audio transcription. You can use LiveATC.net. I'll show you how to do it sometime if you want to listen in. You can either listen in live or you can go pull archive tapes up for whatever airport that you're at and you want to listen to. Yes, I'm kind of on a rant here, on a rave. This entire thing, I predict there'll be nothing done for AirVenture FAA for next year. You're going to continue to kill people. Our only stance is don't fly in there. Go to AirVenture, enjoy it, but drive in. Take your car and drive in. Find a place to park and spend the day. Don't fly into AirVenture because they're not going to fix this, and you're going to be a statistic, and your picture It's going to be on my YouTube channel next year. I promise you that's what's going to happen. I'm going to get out here and get this video up and on the air. I appreciate you hanging with us, being here for tonight on this one. It's been a little bit long, but I treasure your comments on this thing. As you know by now, I'm pretty vocal on this stuff. I don't think that anything that they're doing up there, FAA, is proper. It's unstabilized. It's wrong. It's hook turns. It's FAA yelling at you to tighten it up, tighten it up. I don't like any of it, but I'd like to hear your opinion. Is there a better way to do it? Until then, my stance is I think we all ought to just avoid flying into AirVenture until they step up to the plate and make some drastically needed improvements. I'm going to get out of here and get this video up and on the air for my tiny little itty-bitty fledgling YouTube channel. Dan Grider. Probable cause.
My name is Mike Ginter, and I'm the Senior Vice President of AOPA's Air Safety Institute.
Low wing about a half mile south of Fisk. Give me an aggressive rock. There you go, I got you now. I'm going to take you to runway 27. Keep following those tracks northbound. And enter a tight right downwind for runway 27. Keep that turn south of the gravel pit for me. My RV low wing, I need a hard right turn south. And keep that turn going for me. I need a hard turn, hard turn. A hard turn, hard turn. A hard turn, hard turn.